Um, we are having snow about a couple of inches, but I know you would love it. It's like what we used to have in Indiana.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to come and shovel it for me, I don't care, but I'll hang on to it for a while because Christmas is on the way.
Well,
So
I've just been enjoying a thunderstorm. I enjoy thunderstorms about as much as snow.
you have some beautiful thunderstorms in Hawaii.
Not very many.
Well, I know, but when they any I've ever seen are just, I mean, the lightning, the way it comes across. Of course, even where Bob is, when I was on the eastern shore, of course, it was all flat. And I tell you, the lightning would cut across those, uh, the sky, and the thunder boomers were something else. And happy 90th birthday, Mr. Bob.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciated the pictures and the family. I assume they're all your family.
Yeah, that's all. That's all the thing. That's all there is.
Well,
Because Nancy only had one brother, and he had only one girl, and she was there with her husband.
hmm
And our three kids, and the five grandsons, and seven great grandchildren
so that that's a fair amount. A good,
with their mates. There was 27 there on the 27th.
yeah. I you mentioned that, so well, I'm glad you had a good celebration.
Or as far as snow, we got a dusting last night, and it's well below freezing here now. And it's supposed to get down to teens tonight with the
Yes,
wind.
we've got 23, and we're supposed to have zero tomorrow. So, but we've had quite a winter so far with the cold, and if it just goes on ahead and gets over gets it over with now, I don't care. But I got a feeling we're going to be up through February, March.
Jeremy, you in Sulphur?
No, I'm out by you.
Oh, that's okay. Uh,
No, I've
you
been
at Leesburg?
yeah,
Or
well, close. Yeah, Loudoun County. I yeah, got out here kind of spur of the moment last week, and so yeah, it's we had that dusting of snow you mentioned, and it's bitter cold. I mean, we had really big wind gusts today, and I think it was the real field temperature was like single digits. So pretty harsh, but they had snow in Sulphur also. I saw on the security cameras yesterday there was snow, and my great uncle Mark in Bloomington said that they got snow, just a few
Well, I'm
inches,
kind
I
of what
think.
is Mr. Husk on here or not?
Not as yet.
we got Mr. Beasley.
Yep, I'm here.
What's that? What? I guess you got beautiful weather in LA, huh?
Uh, Another savage California winter day here. Sunshine and 66 degrees. Another day in paradise.
Well, at least you don't have hurricanes and all that kind of stuff, earthquakes going on right now.
We have earthquakes. Everybody's got something.
Well, I know, but you haven't had any recently, have you?
No, not recently. We've got the But in my time here, I've lived through two of them. We've got the Honolulu Marathon going on right now. Thunderstorms and rain.
Mm.
Oh, you're right. I don't
So
know
is
what
that
they do
the
for thunderstorms. Usually, if there's lightning, they make people take shelter. So I don't know what they did.
definitely
I
with
said it was gone. I just heard another thunder just now, so I guess it's not quit.
are you seeing lightning?
No, I'm inside, so I don't see any lightning.
Well, I noticed behind you that there was a open area, so I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's my backyard. But it's raining, so I'm not going to go sit out there and watch.
I got you. It's always so green and pretty every
Yep.
time you come on.
Yeah, it pretty much stayed that way.
I'd say I'm jealous, but I'm not. So, everybody ready for Christmas?
As ready as we're going to get, I guess.
Okay.
It's gonna come whether we're ready or not.
Well, 25th, 10 days away, folks. So they just lit the Christmas or the gazebo. They have a gazebo downtown that some of the people like to decorate and stuff. And then there's across the street, there's a family that has a beautiful Christmas tree that they grew when their kids were born. Now they've got grandkids, but so they've had it decorated for years, and it kind of makes the town look really nice. So, is Bob Roberts or Vic on here?
No,
Not at
either
present.
one. We don't have Gordon either.
You guys were talking one of the last times about how downtown Marengo looks now. I remember when my wife and I were first married, drove back from California, and on the way to see my father, we stopped in Marengo to get a little something to eat downtown there, and I parked my car with the California license plates there, and like the doors and locked it. It made a loud metal click, And as we were walking in, there was three old farmers sitting out there, and one of them says, "Sonny, you don't have to lock your car. You don't have to lock your car here. You ain't in California anymore." And he was probably right. I can remember in English on Saturday afternoon walking along there and seeing a car not only unlocked with the windows down, but the keys in the ignition.
Well, the houses around and there in English, the doors weren't even thick enough. I mean, somebody could pop a lock so quickly, it wasn't funny.
There he comes.
Who's this?
We had a door lock, I guess, in our house in English, but it used a standard door lock key that you could buy in the 10-cent store, Wasn't much security.
When my wife and I got married, I had to get used to the fact that my wife always had the door locks, and I had to have a key with me because if not, I was out for the night. So took a while.
We lived in Herndon for 30 years. We didn't lock the door except when we were going to be gone overnight. And we live in a secure place now. We don't lock the door. The only time we lock the door is when we're going to both be gone for over a period of time.
Well, my neighbors don't lock their doors.
Yeah. The trouble here is the visitors ones that steal stuff. I mean, we lost just recently. The cleaning lady lost the vacuum cleaner. Somebody took her vacuum cleaner. No, several years ago, when the thin screened computer monitors came out, I brought them home to test on mine. For some reason, I set one down on the bench on the first floor, and that was gone when I went to get it.
I know several years ago we had
about 2 inches of snow here in southern
Oh,
Indiana.
there's Bob.
And this morning it was 7 degrees. You copy me?
Yes, I hear you, Bob.
Yes.
So you had
And it's
7
supposed to be
degrees.
down close to zero tonight, and it got up all the way to 20 today. I think they got a lot more snow than that in northern Indiana. They probably, Judy lives at Columbus, Indiana, and she said they had about 6 inches.
There was a lot of basketball games scheduled last night. They cancel them.
I don't know what happened to IU's basketball team, but it seems like they go for 5 or 6 minutes in a game and they don't score.
Yeah.
And when they played Louisville, they was 16-0 before they got on. They come within less than 16 points at the end of the game, but they never did catch up. But we can brag on the football team.
What do you guys think about the Indiana quarterback getting the Heisman Trophy?
Did he get it?
Yeah.
Good. His
Indiana will
younger
be out here
brother
for the Rose
plays
Bowl
on
now.
that team or two, and he's almost as good as him when he comes in and replaces him.
It was a
Well,
good game they played with Ohio State.
yes.
Yeah,
They'll probably
That
run
was
into them
good.
again. I don't know how it'll turn out next time.
We'll worry about
That's
that
the
when it
first
gets there.
time we didn't beat
Yep.
him in a long time.
That was a big one.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I was mentioning high school games. Corden was playing Austin, and they've never reported the score any place that I could find it. And but South Central played Perry Central. It was on Facebook a while ago. Lots of pictures.
I always love pictures.
We've been having a lot of military funerals at the VFW. The week before last, we had 3, and we had 2 this last week, and we got another one coming up Tuesday. And most of them are Vietnam veterans. It's been a long time since we had a World War II. They've almost all gone.
Jimmy Fraze honors a lot of the fellas when he's asked to serve at the services.
Jeremy, where are you located?
Hi, Bob. I'm out in Northern Virginia right now.
Oh, okay.
But
You
I
move
was
around. You're a hard man to keep up with.
I was telling them earlier, I see on the security camera, I see the snow you guys got out there. I can see the camera in Sulphur, and we got a little bit here in Virginia too.
Well, as long as you have snow for Christmas.
When I was a kid, we really looked forward to
they,
it. Boy, that was a lot of fun.
silver liquid.
Else would say,
Oh,
well, you won't
the
like
roads
that
are
crap
all
when you
clear.
grow up. And I thought, oh, no,
And
no, no. And boy, they were right.
And the South Hillsides are there, and the roads there, I can get out and put some bird seeds on them. And the birds are really coming in. They'd be 20 or 30, all different kinds out there eating the seeds.
I don't know why, Bob. We get a lot of feedback on your sound there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's that comes from, but I was going to say, Bob, I was still out there a week or so ago. We got just a few inches of snow when I was still out there, and it was really wet, real heavy snow, and it didn't get above freezing for a few days. So it looked really nice on the evergreens for several days. That was a little over a week ago. So this snow you just got, it looks like it's about the same. Is it a real wet, heavy snow?
We had that, and then I had about 4 inches, and then during the night it rained
Oh,
and stuff. It was so warm, so it went down to about 2 inches. But then it's supposed to be up to 50 before the end of the week. Crawford County weather.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some additional warm days for the so my snow on my roof will melt. Bob Roberts, can I ask you a question? Bob Roberts, can I ask you a question?
We've lost your picture, Tim.
Yes. I had a glitch. So.
I just went to check my rain gauge. I think I've had more rain than you guys have had snow.
Bob, in that pillar hole, this picture where you were a baby, which you and your sister were in. Were you in the front row on the ground, or was somebody holding you?
I'm not understanding.
When the Pilgrim Holiness picture.
Oh yeah, I said the two of them was alive in there, and it was
yes.
me and my sister. And
you and your sister.
the day after that was on there, my sister was 96.
And you're 98.
But we're the only two left.
Were you sitting in the front row?
Yeah.
Or was somebody holding you?
No. Me and my sister was sitting side by side. And it was next to Junior Pavey and Juanita Pavey. And I had a half brother, Gerald Smith, and Durward Benham, an uncle. They were at the end of the row, and at the other end was a grandmother and grandfather, Benham. And my mother was next to them holding Mickey. She was about a year old. I imagine I was probably about 3 years old. But that was
I was kind of curious. My father liked black walnuts, which I never liked the taste of them very much, and I sure didn't like the effort it took to get to the meat of the walnut. But anyway, he would pull the ones that he didn't eat down at the bottom of the garden, and pretty soon there was a growth of black walnut trees there. And if I'd been thinking ahead, I would have thinned it when they were little or something. But I carefully avoided going down East Fifth Street with him in the later years because I didn't want him to see where his house had disappeared. I thought that'd be pretty depressing for him. So I haven't seen it for a long time. So I don't know if those trees grew up or if somehow as it became a park, they cut some of them down or what. I'm just passingly curious if anybody happens to go by there and notice it down by that bridge over the creek.
there's a lot of walnut trees out where the golf course is now. Where I imagine Perry Kimmel lived there when we were all kids growing up and stuff. And all along that field, there's probably 25 or 30 walnut trees that are pretty good size.
Jeremy, do you have any idea of what's causing the feedback?
Well,
It looks like whoever's speaking, their voice is feeding back.
yeah,
Doesn't matter if it's
I'm testing it out here. I'm muting each of you to see if I can tell who the offender is.
No, it's the person speaking. It's the person who's speaking's
It's
voice.
not always. Sometimes it's another person.
Yeah, well, that's what I think it is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think one of you has some type of amplification that is feeding back whoever is speaking. That's what I'm suspecting.
I just heard feedback from your transmission just then.
I know, but I don't think you're hearing it from me. I think you're hearing someone else hearing me.
As
I
soon
don't
as
hear
you
Jeremy's
stop talking,
feedback. I don't hear any
There was
feedback
something
from
in the
him.
background.
as soon as you stop talking, there's no more feedback. I'm sure it's coming from the speaker.
Then everybody's guilty.
That's correct, especially if you have hearing aids. But don't worry about it. Jeremy, can you still hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't get any feedback on that.
No, I'm not hearing any feedback now either. That's what I imagine it is. It's one of your amplification, whether it's a hearing aid or some type of amplification. I think it's whoever's speaking. We're then hearing it echoing from one of your
I hear that
audio.
noise. No.
But I don't think we can do anything about it.
Okay.
I don't think so either.
All right.
If we tried, I don't think we get as much conversation as we're getting. And we can understand each other, most of us, I think.
Well, if I can labor the topic of black walnut trees a little bit more, the Alls family farm that used to be down there north of Tazewell had a whole grove of nicely spaced, big, 3-foot thick black walnut trees on it, and they were really pretty and everything. And eventually my Uncle Clifford fell upon hard times as a chicken farmer and had to sell the farm. And Bobby Walton bought it. And of course, eventually they took it for Padoka Lake anyway. But I'm sure those trees were actually worth, and Bobby Walton quickly cut those down and sold them for lumber because it was his farm. But those were worth it. I think a ton of money at the time.
Where was
they
that?
went straight up for a long ways with a nice trunk of black walnut, which was pretty valuable.
Where was that?
It was north of Tazewell, about 3 miles north of Tazewell on a country road there, next to a creek. I think it had been in the family farm since about 1850 or something like that.
What was the last name again?
Allstott.
Aha.
There were several brothers and cousins all the way up and down the valley there. They had farms together. Earl, my cousin, Earl Allstott, and Billy, and my Uncle Clifford and my grandfather Otto all had farms, and my Aunt Mary and Tom. And there were just a cluster of them there.
Louis
Yeah,
Allstott still lives out in Tazewell. I don't know
Yeah, they did.
how old he is.
They did.
He was a classmate of mine.
Louis?
I still have one classmate living. This
that?
Cunningham girl. She was married to Husk boys, to Donald Husk, and she is in sort of an assisted living, I think, in Indianapolis. And Gordon once in a while goes down and visits her, and he lets me know that she's still with us. Her name was Velma Cunningham.
I remember her.
Yeah.
She's still living.
Yeah, she still is. She and I is the only two left in our class.
And both of you are 98, huh?
I would imagine she might be a little older than I am. I'm not for sure. I was um, born in August, and I started school when I was just 6 years old. A lot of them used to start to school at their birthday was maybe in October or November, and they would let them start. And they were younger than me, and then there's a few of them that was back in the first of the year, and they were a little older, 5 or 6 months older than me.
Gordon emailed us all a picture of Don and Velma not too long ago.
Oh, okay. That Don was turned in to be a banker. I don't know where he ended up at. That the Irvin Farr, I think, started training him. He trained a lot of them.
Well, actor Dick Van Dyke was 100 this past week.
That's right.
That made news.
I talked to Philip Smith from time to time on the phone, and I tried to get him to join this Zoom session, and he doesn't deal well with computers, I think. So I don't think we'll ever see him on it. But I've met him and Vic McGinnity for lunch a couple of times there at the golf course, little restaurant there at the golf course. And the first time I came to English to do it, I'd never been there before to the golf course, so I just drove down to the middle of English thinking there'd be a big sign there someplace, and I was I was disappointed. There was no sign. So I finally had to call Vic and get directions. So I went out there. Vic and Philip were waiting for me on the porch outside, and they announced that I was the first guy that ever got lost in English.
Well, somebody, I can't think who it was, had a picture aerial view of English that was taken in 1952. And it came from the library at the new library up on the hill. Apparently, they have and I don't know who is overseeing the Historical Society, but the person that's overseeing it is the one that had it published on the Historical Society website. And I found it very interesting because I could barely figure out where some of the things were because, like you say, so much is missing. And so, but finally, after looking at the picture long enough, I was able to figure out. I know the one in the library is probably larger, but still, I found that to be very interesting. Yeah, so
You say it was an aerial photo of English from the 50s?
1952, yes, that was what was on it.
I missed that. That was a recent post?
Yeah, well, your guess is as good as mine, but I think it was. But it's in the library, and I gather it's hanging on one of the walls. So if anybody's there and wants to check it out, I found it very interesting. It didn't have everything. It didn't have the cemetery, English cemetery, but it did have Needmore Hill. And so everything looks flat in the picture. So, and it didn't have the high school.
Now I know. I did see that. I didn't remember what year that was, but I did see that just I think in the last few weeks.
Yes. So I found it interesting.
Kenneth Patton used to fly a Piper Club over English, and he used to take pictures of English.
I think you are right, Bob. I think that's how he got it.
Cemetery, but it was taken on the hill that we owned was our pasture up above it. It was just east of the cemetery. You could get practically the whole cemetery in it from up there.
Well, this one was definitely taken from an airplane. And you know, I get the impression it was taken for purposes of engineering and trying to come up with some solutions to the flooding because the creeks were all in the picture. So, but the Indiana 64 wasn't on there. You know, those bridges and everything by the golf course, which I thought was interesting.
Thinking in winter or summer make a big difference about the creeks.
Well, just during temperature, it's down to 16.
Oh, your temps 16 now?
It's supposed to get close to 0 tonight. Then it's going to warm up.
I've got 23, so I'm warmer than you are. I'm further north. You're lucky. Ha ha.
I think Vic McGinnity told me that I want to say it was State Road 64. I thought he told me that the current road is the third iteration.
That's correct. The third Indiana 64 was not on that map at that time, but it was built soon after. Only the two that were there before.
And I know Bob Roberts has told me about how he used to commute uptown. And what car did you say you had, Bob Roberts, when you used to drive up to New Albany?
Well, I drove several. Usually I get a new car about every year. I'll start them with a 54 Chevrolet.
That's the one.
I was working at Charleston. And when I was working for the railroad, I drove a 57 Chevrolet. It was the hottest car I ever owned.
That's still that people prize. You know, they restore those things, and there's some beautiful examples.
Bob Roberts, where did you live when you were growing up as a kid? Where did you live in English?
I didn't copy what he said.
Where did you live in English growing up?
Where did I what when I was growing up?
Live.
Live. I was
Correct.
going north of 37 after you passed where the community house was. The next road going north, and there was a houses up on the hill there that there was a road went between it and where the Lily and Oscar Longus lived.
Oh,
when you left the interstate there, you passed where the Longuses live, Zeke Longus and Alma, and then you come to Felix Hammond's and Guido's house. Then John Bay and Cal Smith had a little cabin in there, and then Lily and Oscar lived there, and then ours was the next house. And that was the last house until you got to Enos Wells's there in front of the graveyard.
so you were close to where the McGinnities lived. You were close to where Hester was raised, right? Okay.
Were they not on Hill
I
Street?
don't understand what he's saying.
Hester McGinnity was raised up there.
Can you understand him, Jeremy?
Yeah, he's asking if you lived near Hester McGinnity. I thought the McGinnitys were on Hill Street, but maybe an earlier generation was near where you live, Bob?
Oh, they lived on the, you passed the Methodist church there in the corner, and there was a road cuts up to the left on top of the hill. And
Hester and Helen lived there. I'm
on top of the hill,
talking.
there was the first house. You'd almost run into it before you made the curve. Tom Sillings lived next to him. But that
See, I was there.
went around and came back to the Tunnel Hill Road. It was off the Tunnel Hill Road.
I'm talking when Hester was a kid. Hester and his sisters, Fern and all them. The McGinnity's lived on Indiana 37 just before the cemetery when I was a kid back in the 50s.
Has built a brick house up there on the 64 going toward New Albany.
That's where Helen and Hester moved. Yeah.
Moved 64 up there. Hess built a house up there.
I got my answer.
Well, we got about 4 minutes left.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I guess Vic's not here this month. Everybody hear from him or anything?
I haven't heard from him since last month.
Okay.
What about Gordon?
Now
Yeah.
he's been sending a lot of veteran remembrances.
Last
To me, anyway.
week, we had a dinner at the Historical Society.
Oh yeah, how was that? The Christmas party. That was Tuesday, wasn't
They
it?
had a lot of good stuff there. There was probably maybe 25 or 30 people.
That's
We've been
what Bill
getting some pretty
said.
good crowds there. Stuff. And
Who's Bill?
this week we're going to have one at the VFW. And then we'll put up probably the day before Christmas, and we'll put up all the treats up there to either the firehouse or the new building they have up there next to the bank. And
well, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody and see you next year.
Okay. Take care.
See you next year.
Bye, Uncle John. Aloha. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Bye.
We've got a minute and a half left if anyone else wants to.
No further wisdom.
We've solved all the world's problems.
No, probably created more, but that's what makes the world go around. You take care.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye. I'll have a drink for all of you on New Year's.